Immigrants 100% built America, and we should absolutely be giving them credit for that. I could literally give you 1,000 reasons why immigrants built America. They're responsible for the stagnation of minimum wage because they prioritize their small business tax cuts for cross-racial labor solidarity, fracturing the working class and blocking universal wage hikes. They're the architectures of Jim Crow. While the elites might have designed it, they enforced it daily. It was relied on their complicity and participation. They're the reason why we don't have universal health care, because they have historically aligned themselves with conservatives as a path to assimilation into whiteness. They're the reason why welfare programs have disappeared, because they keep perpetuating the bootstrap myth. They're the reason why black communities are over-policed, because they keep perpetuating the model minority myth, and they keep pathologizing black American behavior. And they're the reason for ICE, which was primarily staffed and built by first and second generation immigrants from militarized cultures. They are the co-creators of white supremacy. They absolutely deserve credit for that. You have helped build the exact system in which you are complaining about today. And the only reason that you're complaining now is because the benefits that you got from upholding the system are drying up. And now all of a sudden you don't see this country as such a great place. But it was great when black people were the only people who were being harmed by it. But now that that harm is crossing over to everyone, now all of a sudden America is a fascist country. Please. This is absolutely the country that you built. You are 100% right. Immigrants built America. Everything that's fucking wrong with it, you helped build. You have consistently worked against black people's fight for social equality and justice. So yes, you built America. Congratulations. You built a fucking ticking time bomb, and I will absolutely give you credit for that.
The new mayor of New York gets up and tells the world that immigrants built New York. I got nothing against immigrants at all, but I do have something against people who erase historical facts. Just to be clear, enslaved black people built New York and every other state in America. There's like receipts, literal receipts, with the amount of enslaved persons it took to build each city or building. The White House. Yeah, the disrespect, I'm over it. I'm done with it. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
We are a nation of immigrants. This country was not built by immigrants. This country was built by settlers who came here and built this country from nothing.
The wealth of this country was built by enslaved black people. The railroads are built by Asian immigrants. And every time the US went to war, it imported Mexican immigrants to help win the fight. So immigrants did build this country. The only people who didn't build this country are the people who stole the land and put its original inhabitants to the sword.
Who is an immigrant in America, and was America built by immigrants? Yesterday was the Grammys, and there was a strong sentiment in support of immigrants and against ICE. There was a statement that Shabuzi said yesterday that deserves some discourse.
Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them.
You guys remember not too long ago, Zohran Mamdani made the same statements. Now, if we're being honest and we're being pedantic, to say America was a country built by immigrants solely is a complete rewriting of history, and it's disingenuous and erases the story of black Americans in this country. One of the sentiments I've noticed online over the past couple of years is that everyone across the world associates America with immigration, and they think nothing is indigenous to America. Like Americans don't have food, Americans don't have culture, Americans don't have anything that is unique to here. And they don't do that for any of the other countries in the Americas, whether it be the Caribbean or South America. And I understand why that is. It's because American hegemony has ran the world for the last century. And with that, American culture and American story has become synonymous with pop culture. So people don't feel the need to divulge and dig deeper. There is no reality that anyone who is a descendant of those formerly enslaved black Americans in America could be an immigrant. We are the product of forced migration to the New World, and we are one of the foundational Americans. I said previously that the only foundational Americans when this country was created are black Americans, Native Americans, and those original European descendants. Anyone that came later is an immigrant. Immigration and immigration means leaving a country voluntarily to move and settle somewhere else, whether it be permanently or with their hope of returning home. None of the countries in Africa existed when the slave trade was going on. So no one in the Americas could be an immigrant by definition. We have been in America prior to the inception of America being a country. I say that to say that doesn't erase immigrants from the story of America, because those Chinese and Japanese immigrants that came here helped expanded America westward, and without them, that wouldn't have occurred. The subsequent European migration that happened through Ellis Island helped develop all the major cities like Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, New York. Without our Filipino and Caribbean aunties, we wouldn't have any nurses to take care of us. Without our Mexican and Central American compadres working in the farms, we wouldn't have access to food the way that we do have it, or tend your gardens, or tend your home. So there's so many things that add to the story of America, and immigrants are definitely at the core of the American system, the American story, and American history. But when we're telling that history, we have to tell it correctly, because no Black American will be offended by you saying immigrants definitely developed this country. They developed the country alongside Black people, but at its foundation, for centuries before immigrants came, Black people were here forcibly, free labor, forcibly. They helped develop these Fortune 500 companies, from cotton and tobacco farms, forcibly. All those other immigrants that came at least got paid. Whether they were paid pennies on a dollar, they were still paid, and they were never slaves. So when it comes to telling history correctly, especially during Black History Month, we have to say things correctly. And it's not a dig. I know what he meant, but a lot of people don't know what he meant, because I've seen comments saying, well, how are Black Americans not immigrants? You can't be immigrants in a country you were forced to come to. In the same way that Black Americans aren't immigrants, you would never call a Brazilian an immigrant, a Jamaican an immigrant, a Haitian an immigrant, a Dominican an immigrant. But for some reason, you guys can't seem to grasp that Black Americans are the same exact descendants of those who exist in the Caribbean and exists in South America. Happy Black.
So Shabuzi says immigrants built this country, right? And everybody who's Black is in an uproar. Who has been the main target of this current administration? Immigrants, right? So his speech wasn't well, Black people didn't build this country. It was to shine light on we should treat these illegal immigrants as humans, because they too built this country. That's all it was. These Black people did too. Y'all kind of sound like them all lives matter people. Like, y'all are not excluded in the conversation, but we're including somebody else who deserves to get recognized. That's all that is, or that's all I picked up from that. And while I understand everybody's frustration, I don't agree with it, because this is one of those statements, like, once you first hear it, you might have mixed emotions, but you got to let it keep playing in your head for you to understand, like, oh, that's probably what it meant. Y'all take everything at surface level and then just go mad, go crazy, the lot of you. But yeah, no, that's what I got from it.
I feel like everyone wants to take credit for what America has become, or what it is today, as it stands today, while simultaneously kind of discrediting and undermining the fact that there was hundreds of years of evils and atrocities that happened to even get America to the point where people would even want to be here at all, that people would want to migrate over here. Because the truth be told is, nobody in their right mind would leave their homeland, their family, their friends, to come to a place that didn't already have some level of opportunity, that wasn't already built up with some type of infrastructure. Like, immigration didn't really start happening heavily until like the 20s and 30s. And I'm not saying that to undermine any person who was an immigrant and came over here and made a great life for themselves. But what I am saying is that it seems like when it comes time to be proud of like who you've become as an immigrant and what you've built and what you've established here, it's like, it's all good, like, because your family's from somewhere else and you're proud of what you created over here. But at the same time, whenever a person who doesn't have an immigrant background, like the foundational Black Americans, the freedmen, or even, the whites, the people who were descendants of the white slave owners, right? Like, basically, if you don't have an immigrant story, you don't have an immigrant background, that's when it becomes a problem for you to show pride in being American or having foundational American roots. That's when people start to bring up, oh, well, this is stolen land. This country was built on stolen land. You're not truly American because you're not a Native American. So I feel like if you don't have an immigrant background, and you are part of the lineage of people who came from centuries of atrocities on this land, you're not really allowed to have pride in what you contribute or what your lineage contributed. You're not really allowed to like be proud to be American, right? You're only allowed to be proud to be American if you're not from America. You're only allowed to say that you built something and built up something if you have an immigrant background. And that's just something that I noticed. Like, not really something I normally speak on, but I noticed it. You know, everybody wants to take credit for it's built up into a great place, and a lot of people had contributed to this. But all I'm saying is it just seems like you're only allowed to say that you built up America as long as you were not a part, your lineage doesn't go back to the foundation of America as a nation.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. This is your girl, Her Excellency. Today we're talking about the people that built America. So the argument is about if it's the enslaved Black that built Americans or the immigrant. I think the whole message for this video is for what has been going on in the US right now, how President Trump has been sending people back to their home country. I don't think he's sending the descendants of the enslaved Blacks to their country. Probably most of them don't even know where they came from. So the emphasis is just to have pity on the immigrant because of their own contribution to the success of America. It's not just about who built it, who needs to take credit for it, or who does not need the credit for it. The whole message that I see here is just to acknowledge the fact that immigrants have their own contribution to the country, so that they should try and show them mercy if there are some that could be forgiven and allowed to stay in the country. That is what this message is about. It's not, they are not taking the fact that Black Americans had the majority contribution in building America. So guys, what do you think? If you have more knowledge on this, just let's have your thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your girl, Her Excellency, and if you're coming across this channel for the first time, I do hope you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like and share. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. Please, my disclaimer, this channel does not support violence or any form of hate. Please don't go about searching for the people that I talk about in my videos. Don't hurt them, because this channel is strictly for educational purposes. Thank you for stopping by. You're welcome.